Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I just appreciate the support. Let's get into it. So recently, the rumor mill in the NBA has been going around that the 76ers are trying to trade for James Harden. And in my opinion, the 76ers should absolutely try to make this happen. And I'm going to break it down why. Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get into it. I've kind of talked about it in a video already on why I think the Rockets should hit the reset button in a previous video, and I'll make sure to link that in the comments below and at the end of the video. But at the same time, I'm going to address why I think the 76ers should make this trade and what that means for the Rockets, the 76ers, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Russell Westbrook, and a whole bunch of other people. So let's get into it. So obviously, I think that the 76ers, before this became a rumor, the 76ers needed to pick between Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. I just don't think with their current roster construction and their style of play that it's going to work. Joel Embiid needs the paint to not be clogged for him to be the most effective version of himself. And Ben Simmons is he's a paint clogger. He literally cannot shoot the basketball. He has a non-existent jumper, and he has to be in the paint and driving to be effective. And Joel Embiid needs that space. Because right now, if you kick it to Joel Embiid on the block and Ben Simmons on the floor, you just send a double off of Ben Simmons. And to be fair, the 76ers' problems are compounded by the fact that they don't really have shooters on their team. But I'm going to get to that in a minute. So I think there are crosshairs where they need to pick one or the other and build around them. And I think that if you got James Harden, basically my trade idea is that you trade Ben Simmons to the Rockets for James Harden. You probably got to throw a pick in there or something like that. But James Harden can be the ball-dominant person on the floor. He can have Joel Embiid to help him run the offense. And then you just get shooters. I think a core of James Harden, Joel Embiid, and a bunch of 3-and-D shooters that can play defense is a really good roster. And for the Rockets, you can hit the reset button because the roster is maxed out. Your team is maxed out. You can start over with Ben Simmons, who is an excellent player, third-team All-NBA this past season. Great defender, great finisher, great passer. He's all those things. You can put him around those shooters and the guys like that, maybe retool, and I think you'd have a solid squad. In the West, it's going to be harder, so you're going to have to add some more pieces, but I think Ben Simmons would be a great foundational piece for you to rebuild around. So I think both teams win. The 76ers, they get to pick and go forward. I think Joel Embiid is just the better option in this trade to build around just because, you don't want to have James Harden and Ben Simmons on the floor together just because we kind of got a version of that when we had Harden and Westbrook. It's because, Westbrook can't shoot. Now, if this trade happens, so hypothetically right now we're at James Harden is on the Sixers and Ben Simmons is on the Rockets. You're going to have to trade away Russell Westbrook. Ben Simmons and Russell Westbrook literally would be the worst tandem ever simply because neither one of them can shoot. So you could trade away Russell Westbrook. You're probably going to get, the Knicks are interested in him. So you can get RJ Barrett and some picks for him. Have RJ Barrett, Ben Simmons, and as a backcourt to build on. I think that's a very solid foundational piece. And then if you're the Sixers, you got to get rid of Al Horford. He does not fit. He's just no. And it got so bad that he had to come off the bench last year. So I think you absolutely have to move Al Horford. And I think you should try your hardest to move Tobias Harris, but it wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing in the world if you kept him because he is a scorer. But at the same time, you need a lot more floor spacing to help James Harden and Joel Embiid. So to me personally, I think the 76ers should make a trade for James Harden. I think if they got James Harden, Joel Embiid, and then they retooled the roster, that would be a really, really good team that can contend for a title. And for the Rockets, this allows you to hit the reset button, start your rebuild, start your retooling, and eventually get back into competitive basketball in the near future. So thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you check out the link content here. Have a great day.